Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead on our porch over here in the cabin today. We had a lot of questions asked to us when we went to the U-Picket place. And I failed to talk about a lot of it during the video because we were interested in getting our food and getting out of there because it was in a bald open field and we were trying to get out of there before the sun hit because it was like 112 that day. So I'm going to try today to answer a few of those questions that was asked about U-Pickets. Now, is the U-Picket place, does it use commercial fertilizer? Does it use some chemicals and stuff like that? And the answer is yes. They do use some things like that, but there's not any difference in my mind in using or going to a place like that and picking it myself than going to Walmart or any of these other places, any other grocery store you want to talk about, and picking up something from Chile or Brazil or Mexico or wherever, India, places like this, where they grow all these fruits and vegetables and there's no regulations on chemicals whatsoever, and they ship them in here and we buy them and we don't think anything about it because it comes from a grocery store. So, to answer that question, the answer is yes, there are some chemicals, but I read and talked to the place, there are some guidelines that they have to follow. They cannot go beyond those guidelines. Now, a lot of questions was asked, how do they water it? Because it's up on this high mountain and all that black plastic. Won't the sun kill it? Well, the answer is no. They do water it. And it is up on high mounds. They have an irrigation line run right through the center of that bed that pumps in fertilizer and water daily. And these plants produce, they push them to produce and to produce fast. There's been a lot of questions asked about the onions. People said, well, I didn't think you could grow onions under plastic. Well, you know what? You're looking at another one sitting right in front of you that did not know you could do it under plastic either. These onions were planted through tiny holes in the plastic, and nothing but the roots was in the ground. And I see the wisdom behind it because they were planted when it was cold, and they have an irrigation line run right through the middle of it. They're fertilized and watered underneath this black plastic. The black plastic heats the ground up, and because the bed is real high out of the ground, they don't have to worry about the soil staying too wet because it drains off really good. And the black plastic heats the ground up and makes that onion just Cadillac. So, yes, onions grow under it, and it was really an amazing adventure for me, So the U-Picket is really, so in my mind, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a plus that live in an area where they have a U-Picket like this. Now, in the region where I'm at, there's not a lot of fruit orchards here, just simply because of the heat that we have. Now, just north of here, they have peach orchards and everything everywhere else, but the fruit, the vegetables are here. Now, the squash is grown that way, the okra's grown that way. To me, guys, it's amazing to see the mechanism. I've watched the machinery as it goes through the field and does every step of this thing, and how it's planted and how the sticks are put in the ground. The weaving method of tying up the tomatoes, the basket weave method that they use. It's amazing to watch those guys walk down through them fields as fast as they can walk, and literally tying this stuff up. It's amazing. There's been so many questions asked about, there was questions asked about the watering, questions asked about the black plastic. It looked to be, I'm just telling you, it looked to be about 4 mil black plastic maybe. Yes, there was irrigation underneath it. Yes, there was fertilizer put through the irrigation system. There was some sort of a cover crop put on it. It looks like some sort of a wheat was put over the field during the winter months, and all that was turned under as some sort of a compost, I'm guessing. A lot of people wondered why we would even consider going to a U-Picket place. Well, guys, we've had a lot of disaster here at Deep South Homestead this year. The weather has been horrendous. We went from cold, it froze a lot of our stuff, it bloomed all out, the freeze froze everything. Some of it we was able to salvage, some of it we was not. We lost 100% of some of our crops. Then it turned right off in the next week, and we had 115 to 116 degree temperature heat indexes for 2 weeks in a row. Everything we had planted, it sucked all the moisture out of the ground. We tried watering to little to no avail. We lost over half of our sweet potato crop during that time. Most of our tomatoes failed to set fruit during that time. And then as soon as that was over, we had 60-mile-an-hour straight line winds that came through here, destroyed our crops, corn, different things like that, blowed all of our peppers over and stuff. We had to work getting all that tied back up. So yeah, when you have these kind of things happen, and you have a place within your reach, a U-Picket place, and you can go there and get something to supplement what happened to you from the weather, then yes, we do it. And perhaps there's lots of y'all who have too small of places. You live in an HOA, you live in an apartment complex or something like this. You have absolutely nowhere to plant anything except maybe a few containers. You can get up and go in the mornings or the evenings or whenever you want to go. You go to a U-Picket place and you can pick several buckets of vegetables. Very economical, $11 a bucket. I think over on Crazy Days, Wanda's channel, she's going to have a video up that deals with the difference in prices on going to a U-Pick versus going to a grocery store. I encourage y'all to go over to her channel on Crazy Days, subscribe to her because she usually puts up some pretty good stuff over there, a lot of canning, a lot of cooking, a lot of just good information, and sometimes just some humor. If you like some entertainment, it's over there. But she talks about the comparison of U-Picket versus grocery stores. For us, $11 for a 5-gallon bucket is well worth it. Now guys, you have to use wisdom when you go. It's all you can put in that bucket. You can pick a few peppers, pick a few peas, pick a few jalapenos, pick a few peppers, a few tomatoes. However you stack it in that bucket, and as tight as you can stack it in that bucket, it's $11. To me, there's wisdom in that because you can come out of there with enough food to last you for a long, long time. I mean, we went once and got enough salsa from stuff that we bought to can enough salsa to last us for half a year. Now we're going back. We're going to get enough stuff to make enough salsa to last us for the other half of a year. So that way we'll have enough salsa to feed us for a year. And not only that, we have enough squash to feed us for a year. We'll have enough other plants and stuff like that, the onions, enough to last us for a year. Things to this nature, guys. If you live in apartments and you live in HOAs where you can't tear your yard up and do things, use some wisdom. Find a U-Picket. Even if you got to travel a little bit to get there, it's worth it because I'm telling you, trying to figure the best way to word this, you would be better off to have done it and nothing happen than not to have done it and something happened and you have nothing. So I hope this has answered a few of your questions about the U-Picket place where we went. It is local. It is about 15 to 20 minutes from us. It's amazing is all I can say is what they do with gardens. So thank you guys. Deep South Homestead.
you got? Peppers. That's gypsy peppers. Smell like peppers, doesn't it? Take on to Mr. Danny.